What is up, my friends? Welcome to Friday's episode, the Craft of Fatherhood podcast. This is your guide, Ned Schaut. I believe our role as fathers has the power to change the world simply by knowing who we are and embracing the adventure. On these episodes, I'll share stories, thoughts, ideas from my own mind, life, and the hope, desire is to inspire, encourage you to step into your opportunity, your responsibility, and the beautiful mess of being a father to your kiddos, whether they're 3, 13, 18, 25, 30, goes on and on and on. Okay, check this out. As I've shared a couple times, you've probably heard me over the last few weeks, few months, I have this deep desire, this deep realization that I've got 4 girls and a son, and there's this deep responsibility I'm feeling towards my son and his future and the role that I am called to play in that. I mean, my son doesn't go to work with me every day. We don't go out into a field and me show him the way of how we provide for our family. Much of my time is in an office behind a desk, and much of his time is at a school. And I'm actually taking tomorrow. I'm going to fast 24 hours, and I'm just, I've been doing some pre-work on this, and I'll share that. I've shared some of it already. And I'm going to fast 24 hours and just really kind of lean into Ned, what matters. And so some of the pre-work that I've done is sent him out to Boise State to go look at a college. Like, do you want to go to college? Yesterday we had a conversation about it. What's the pros of going? What's the pros of not going? And so then that's going to determine a bit of what the next couple of years looks like as far as what you want to do for your schooling and how to get to where you want to go. And so then today, some of what my son wants to do is around business. And so I called a friend in the business that my son wants to get into, had a conversation with him, got some ideas, some thoughts from him about, okay, how do you take a 16-year-old and start to prepare them and not just have them, I hate to say waste time, but just go sit in classroom and take courses that he has zero interest in. Now, I do think my son is, we're still going to do the whole route, but how can I substitute? How can I create pieces around that can fit inside of his realm the next 2 years, that when he's, when he then is going to be 18, 19, 20 and needing to some level provide for himself, that it's not like he's waiting till then to start. He's doing it now. So here's the thought. Here's the thought that I want to plant into your minds, especially, I don't think I'm too late at all. I don't think we're ever too late, really. I feel like this is the perfect timing. But what if you and I were to be a part of helping our children create roadmaps for their life? And that's a big calling I feel with him now. And so we've been talking about what matters, what's important. Yesterday, I'm like, when do you want to get married? Where do you want to live? What kind of house you want to live in? And there have been times 6 months, 12 months, 18 months ago where I would maybe have these conversations and they're not as, I don't know. Because there's this dance, especially with him, there's this dance of, he is a boy becoming a man, and I want him to enjoy being a boy. There's a lot he can teach me about just want freedom and go, let's just ride dirt bikes today. My life with 5 kids and a business and marriage, just like yours, is very structured. I mean, there's very much I kind of know what's happening. So to force or move him too quickly into this working years is not necessarily what I want, but I also want to go, hey, this is a season of time where you have a lot of time to invest in yourself. And so how can I come alongside and help bring clarity and some roadmap to what you want to do? So this whole concept that I'm bringing up to you is the idea, the thought to start thinking about working with because I do let me finish this thought, working with our children, our young adults, to help them create the roadmap. Can't create it for them, right? I don't want my kid to go live my dream, but I do want to help open their eyes and give them opportunity to experience life so that they can start to create their own. And then I would love to be a voice that is a trusted voice, a trusted advisor, and I'm sure it will shift over time. But there are seasons like right now, he's about to be 16. I have 2 years where my authority in his life is not the same as it's going to be when he's 19 or 20. So to say, hey, this is what we're doing. This is kind of, this is a course. This is a class. This is an interview. This is a, business relationship I want to introduce you to, whatever it might be. We have that right now when they're living in our house a bit more than we will when they're 25. Although the hope is that we do a good job here so that when they're 25, they're looking to us advisors. So I do think as fathers with our sons and daughters, there is this responsibility and opportunity for us to uncover what are their gifts, what are their talents, what are they good at, where do they show up, and then help them to see where that could be played out in the world of providing value to society and culture and family. So the thought that I want you to walk away with, and clearly you can tell from where I'm at, it's like, I'm not talking to you about this 10 years from now when I'm like, oh, this is what I did with my kid from 16 to 18. And it sounds all nice and tidy in a book, which would be great. Maybe we'll do that. But I'm in this. So like, what are some of the things I'm doing? I'm digging into my son. I'm creating opportunities for him to go tour college last week. I want him to be a part of making decisions, talking to friends in similar businesses or careers that he's into. Then I'm going to sit and I'm going to create a roadmap. I'm leaning into, I would say, not just reading these books, but meditating on 2 books right now, which means I'm listening to them, I'm reading them, I'm taking everything I can. What do I want? What do I not want? So The Intentional Father, great book, working on that. We started a father-son group. So once a month, we're meeting fathers and sons here at the house, keeping it small. And then Adam's Return by Richard Rohr, which I think I talked about a month ago. I mean, I'm like a few times through that book and just being rocked as far as this idea of rites of passage, the things, and it's helping me see what are the things that I really want Brody to know or to see or to have access to as he steps out of the covering the roof of my home, and not just what everybody, like, I don't need him to do what every other kid does. Your kid doesn't need what my kid needs. Ultimately, what they need is a dad who's for them, a dad who's walking with them, a dad who's talking to them, and a dad that is listening to them. So my friend, think about what's the roadmap for your kid. Make sure it's not your roadmap. Make sure it's their roadmap. But in the same vein, thinking about, and this is like one of my kind of things to wrestle with tomorrow when I sit, is what are the true family values, or what are the things I want Brody leaving here knowing? What am I passing to him? What am I passing down to him? And some things is like, what do I think about money? What do I think about God? What do I think about time? What do I think about women? What do I think about kids? These things are getting passed to my kids. So it's kind of a delicate balance you and I have, because you and I, if you feel like me at 40, I'm 41, 35 to 45, you're still kind of like stepping into your own, still kind of deciding, who am I? What am I about? But we can't be so wishy-washy in that we're not making decisions about my own being that I can then have some foundation for my son to walk on, for my son to build on. And then, I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's similar. My daughters definitely are pretty strong, have paths that they want. But I think the most critical thing, if we're going to talk about roadmap for our daughters, I think the most critical thing we can do is, yes, have the same conversations, have the same opportunities to, and I'm doing that with like Violet and I yesterday. We're in the jacuzzi, ice bath in the jacuzzi, and she's talking to me about her plan and her path and what she wants and where she's heading in college and career. And we were just talking a lot because she's doing a project on budgeting. So we talked a lot about it. So I'm not saying it's not important to do that with your daughters. It is. But I think even more important is the way that you love your wife, or the way that you love their mom. The way that you treat women in general is really, really important for our girls. And that you tell them they are beautiful inside and out, and you absolutely love, adore, and cherish them. That's a man right there. Tell your daughter you love her. Tell your daughter she's beautiful. Tell her you adore her, you cherish her. She needs to know that it's true and feel it from you. All right, my dudes, clearly passionate about this. I could just rap all day. If this is helpful, share it with a friend, write a review, spread the word. Fatherhood matters. I mean, dude, you got to believe this is true. Look around. Our world is in desperate need of leadership. And where does it start? It starts in the home. Where do you learn community and love and to live with people? You learn it in your home. I was just telling my kids this the other day. Our kids, their opportunity to learn how to work with other people, that's why you have brothers and sisters. Right? Like, let's work through this because I want you to be able to have communication and understanding and talk to people. Your kids are so different. My kids are so different. They're all so different. They have an opportunity in the home if we don't just create the, like silos of comfort and that they need to live in the tension. It's good for them to argue. It's good for them to have tension and work things out. It's good for you not to step in every time, for them to start to understand what it means to work with others. So, okay, dude, we got to go. Let's go. My dude, remember who you are. You're a father. That matters. You matter. Together, let's rebel against the view that fatherhood has little impact, and let's create lives engaged in mastering the craft of fatherhood. Much love to you, my brothers. Together, we're changing the world. I look forward to hanging out with you next week.